So we are going to talk about the Win32 API. Okay. Now, two main things you have to understand about the Win32, because many people ask me how to create a button, and then you click on this button, something is going to happen in a input field, and make a nice window application, and do so many stuff. Maybe connect your PC to a hardware device like a microcontroller and have things changing. But before doing this, of course, you can do that with so many applications, programming languages like Java, Python, and even JavaScript and stuff. But when it goes to the Win32, it's a little bit challenging. So let's tackle things slowly. First of all, in the Win32, there are two main things. There is the window, okay, which is a we call it a window class. So I'm going to call it window class. And then there is, for this window class, which is a graphical interface. Okay, it's a graphical interface. That's what you see here. Any window, by the way, if I open any window, I don't know, I'm gonna open my old window Winamp, you know, so that's a window, right? So here, if you have this icons here, and you can close, you can maximize, minimize, and it just has a skin here. And then you have buttons, of course. You can press on the button, and each button does something, right? So this, what you see, is a Windows class, or a graphical user interface, graphic interface of your window. But underneath there is an engine. It's like a car, and there is a small engine, okay, right? So this engine is called the window processor. Think about this as an engine, okay? Okay. I'm just going to call it window processor, or I'm going to use another icon. Think about it like a microprocessor. This is the smart part of your program, right? Okay. So your window, when you create a window, you're going to give it some properties. So you're going to declare a window. So let's delve into some code, so it won't be so abstract too. I like to go back and forth between code and whiteboard. So you have the main entry, which is WinMain, and it has some parameters. I'm not going to talk about them because they're too, well, again, it's okay. The first instance, this is the each instance, which is a pointer in memory, which where Windows is going to put your window, your program in memory. Previous instance is deprecated, old. LPSTR, it's a command line, and they show how do you want to show your window, maximized, minimized, or normal. Okay. So after that, we create a window class, WC. So that's the window that we're going to create, right? How do you want it? Do you want to show the X and maximize and minimize? You are going to give some properties here, WC something. Do you want to put an icon here? Same thing. You're going to make a WC dot load icon. I don't know, IDC something equals something, and that's what you're going to see here all the way down. Yeah. Okay. So all those are just some properties, graphical properties, except some properties. For example, the WinProc. WinProc is the gear. This is the function WinProc, right? So WinProc is it's a pointer to a function. So where is WinProc? It's defined all the way up. Okay, we're gonna go then check what's going on in that function, but just bear with me. Instance, we said place in memory icon. This is the icon. Cursor, this is the cursor inside your application. And those are constants. That means what kind of icon, if the ID of icon, the ID of cursor, and they're all predefined by Windows. And you can use custom ones, but we are not going to talk about it in this lesson. This is the to brush background, it's what color would you like to put for your window. Here LPC menu name, so we're not using any menu bar here if you want to. LP, this is a string, so that's a pointer to a string, and the string we put it all the way up here. I call it my window class, and this is very important here when you go to register the class, and we're going to talk about register. So imagine you are an operating system, okay? So you are an operating system here. And the thing is with operating systems, poor guys, they have so many applications talking to them at the same time. So you have an application, another app, and so on. Calculator, Excel, Firefox, any application you want. Okay. So each application here, of course, they have to give some data here, some kind of an ID for the operating system to organize them, right? So that's what we are going to do exactly at the same time, the same thing. We are going to register our application, and to register we need something. We need to give it the parameters of our application. So we are gonna give the address of our Windows class, right? So we're gonna give after initializing our window class, we're gonna try to register this class with the operating system. If there is a problem, it's gonna fail. It's gonna say Windows failed, registration failed, and that's what will happen. So we are trying to register. Okay. If the registration is if this function, by the way, we are trying to register, and this Windows here is gonna return us something. If it returns false, right? If it's true, okay, yes, true, it means yes, yay, you're good to go. You can continue. You can continue with your window. If it's true, that's fine. If it's false, that means we failed to register. That's the piece of code that we're doing here. If everything is fine here, if we registered fine, what we do now, we are trying to create a window. So create a window is not showing it on the screen. We are trying to create a window for the operating system. So what we do here, we create a window. Right? And here we have many parameters. The style of the window, the class name, which is very important to identify the application for the operating system. So we give him the name of its unique name, right? Okay. The title of my window, the title that will show in the middle of your title bar for any application. I don't know if I can, if I open a window, for example, here, yeah, that's a speed crunch, and that's the title of my window, right? Okay. And, the window style overlapped window, and here I don't know exactly what this is. I have to Google it or go to MSDN. Here this is the X and this is the Y, and those are the locations of your first, the point here, the corner point here. Where is it comparing to your screen? So if you have a screen like this and you have a window here, you have two coordinates. That's the Y coordinate and that's the X coordinate. So that's the point here. Okay, so that's the X and that's the Y, and that's the width and that's the height. So that's the width and that's the height. Null, I don't know what are those, and each instance we said that's a pointer to a memory location of our window, of our application, sorry. And then null, I don't know what's this. Okay, so we create the window. So I hope you're still with me. So when we create the window, the operating system is gonna say, okay, you're good. By the way, let's give a name to this window. The class name, what was the class name? It was my window class. So we said this by the way, this is called my window class. Let's give it a my window class, right? Say, okay, I got you on my window class, and he will give us a number to our window class. Let's say a number 5, just to make it simple. And he will return that number 5, and that's called the handle to a window. That's why you see all the time HWND. HWND is nothing but a number that was generated by the operating system to identify your window, okay? And by the same time, by the way, there are so many other applications running at the same time on your operating system. So I'm gonna give it like 6, 7. Of course, those numbers are so simple here, but in real life they are like 4,700 something, and so on. Okay, so we return the handle to a window, which is, in our case, is 5, right? So that's a number. That's an integer. I don't know. Is it an integer? Is it an integer? HWND. Hold on. Let's just check 1 second. I'm not HWND. What's this? Okay, I have to put my mouse on top of it. Yeah, it's a pointer of a point. Anyway, it's a number. Okay, trust me on that. Okay, so that after that it will return the handle to a window after creating this window. So create window X, and then it will give us the handle. If the handle is not null, if it is null here, we are gonna throw an error. Otherwise, continue. So after that, we are gonna show the window on the screen. So we are gonna say show window. So we are given the handle. So we are saying, hey, this window, show it on the screen. And how do you want to show it? Do you want to show it maximized, minimized? That's the NM and CMD. So the how do you want to show it? Then after that, update window. So we update it. Update is going to send a message, and we are going to talk about messages shortly. Okay, so it's going to update our window. So this is just to show the window on the screen. After that, we have something called the message queue. For each window class, which is registered by the operating system, actually the operating system has, it has a job, it has some work to do. So let's say we have a mouse or hardware, any hardware. That's a mouse, by the way, okay? So I'm gonna click and move the mouse. That's what mice do. they move. So after I move, each time when I move my mouse, it will give some signals to the operating system. The operating system is going to detect where this is happening. So let's say I move the mouse inside my window. So I bring my mouse slowly here, and then it touches the border here, and then I am here. I am inside my window. Sorry, Windows is going to get all those messages. So whenever I move my mouse, there are a bunch of messages that are bombarding the operating system, and it's up to the operating system to dispatch or route those messages to the right window. So what it does, it will take this window and it will send it all the messages in a queue. So it will create a queue and it will send all the messages to the window, right? So that's what's happening here. So it's sending whenever an event is happening to the operating system. The operating system is dispatching the window. It's taking those messages and sending them to your window. But the window is stupid on itself, so it doesn't have a brain, right? So what it does, it has to send it to the WinProc. So the WinProc, it's a method, it's a function, sorry, it's a function in C, or method in C++, which will manage all the messages and do things. So it will it has a switch statement inside usually, and it will see what you have as message, and then you will have case Windows message something, and then another case Windows message something, another case Windows message something, and do you want me to continue? And so on. Okay, so that's the WinProc. WinProc is just a switch processing machine which will treat all the messages, and trust me, there are hundreds and hundreds of messages sent by Windows. Okay, so let's go back to our main loop, our main entry, main main, right? And then we have a while loop here, while message, and this is saying if the message, the app, by the way, this is called the app queue, while the app queue is not empty, that's what it says, do two things: translate message and dispatch message. Translate messages are, some messages need to be translated from let's say if you send a message with a keyboard, the keyboard has to do, the message has to be translated, and then it has to be dispatched. What we are going to do, we are going to send it to the WinProc. So that's what I was talking about before. Okay. All right. Now this return message W parameter, which is after the win entry, it's well, I don't really, to be honest, I'm not going to talk about this one because I don't know what it does. But while there is a message, it's going to send the message, it's going to translate and dispatch and send it to the WinProc. So WinProc here, we're talking, and that's all the time when you are dealing with Win32, you're going to program a lot here. Okay. So WinProc, what it has 4 parameters. It has the handle to window, so which window is sending those messages, because in the window sometimes, well, let's not talk about that, let's keep it for some other time. So handle to window, and then the message, and the W parameter and the L parameter. So the those are just parameters. So usually you have a message, right? Let's say mouse click or mouse moving, but this is not enough. So you send with it, you send a W parameter or L parameter. Okay. All right. I'm gonna show you an example shortly. Okay. So switch message. So by the way, this switch, there was no pointer here. It's just a message as it is. So switch message case if the message is Windows message left button down. So if we press the button down, and you don't need even to release it, okay? That's what will happen. Okay, what will happen? We're gonna do this block of code, and let me tell you, I'm very good at this. Okay, just kidding. It's just gonna create, it's gonna read the file, the path of your file name, okay, and then it's gonna show it to you in a message box. Okay, so what it does, it's just going to show the name and the path of your message box. So when this is going to happen is if you click on the button on the screen. So here, if you, I'm gonna just run it for you so you can understand. So we have title of my window. If I click somewhere, it's gonna show you a message box with the path of your file, so which is window click.exe. Okay, cool. That's the first case, which is Windows message left button. So if I press on the left button, it's gonna do that. Okay, break, of course, you have a switch case. And then keys, Windows message close. Let me, before I will talk about this one, I would like to, actually this should have been the first one, but it doesn't matter, right? So, because they're case statements. So, case, Windows message destroy. So if you press on the X button here, close, actually what you did, if you pressed on that button, if you press on that button, where is the yes, if I have my window and I click here, click on the X button, what happens is, look what happened. It's a, first of all, it's a message, right? It's a Windows message, so it's going to be queued in. So we will have. If I put my mouse on top of it, let me see if I can see it. Yeah, it's 2. It's number 2. Look at this. It's defined by number 2. So what happens here? It's gonna if I click on that. Oops. What happens is Windows case, Windows message. What was it? Close. So it will send this, sorry, it will post quit message, right? So it's gonna post quit message. So it's gonna post a quit message to the, so we will have in the queue list, it's gonna have number 2. Okay, so it's gonna be first on the queue. And then this message number 2 is going to be routed again to the application, to WinProc, right? And this time it's gonna send, by the way, this post quit message is going to be, it's gonna send close this time. So this time it's gonna send Windows message close. And this Windows message close, if it's Windows message close, it's gonna send destroy window. So destroy window will do 2 things. Destroy window is gonna take the window out of the screen, it's gonna erase it, and it's gonna deregister. It's gonna say, okay, operating system, delete this from your program, from your window manager, and this window will not exist anymore. Okay, so that's the second case. So if we, so this and this, they are kind of in a chain. So if you click on this X, this Windows message is gonna be triggered, which will post quit message, and post quit message is going to generate sorry, a WM close, and when the WM close is received by our WinProc, window proc, it's going to destroy the window, and it's going to deregister it from the operating system. It's going to erase it from the screen. Okay, but now what is this default case? So we have case left button, close, and then, but we have default. The default is don't do anything, just return default window proc. So that means if this message is, because as I said, there are hundreds and hundreds of, I don't know if I said that, but there are many messages coming to the operating system, and if I notice that I didn't handle my mouse, I don't care if I put my mouse inside this. For example, I'm gonna take the speed chart here. Notice that if I put my mouse inside, the cursor changes, but when I move inside, there are so many messages sent to this application, but it doesn't care about it. It's just waiting for me to press on a number here, so it can do something. Except that it's not gonna handle that. So that's the case here, where we don't care about many messages, we just don't care about them. So we are not gonna treat them, and we are gonna pass them to default window proc with the same arguments that were passed to WinProc, the 4 parameters. So if you say WinProc, where is WinProc? A little bit up. Yes. Handle to window, the message, the W parameter, and L parameter, we are gonna just send it to the default Windows parameter, and we say, hey, we don't care about that, Windows, you handle that for us. So the win proc has two things. So some messages are taken into considerations, and many other messages are sent to default win proc. So we don't care. Those are, we can say, hey, ignore them. So they are ignored. Okay, that's in any case, this is how Windows 32 API works. Next time we are gonna open some other examples, and it's gonna be more fun, because you will see a lot of code and a lot of things happening. It's gonna be so easy. It's really, really easy. Okay, thank you for watching, and see you on the next video. Bye.